Hello YouTube, AGF here again today with a collection video. I'm combining a couple smaller collections into one, just so I don't have to make a bunch of short videos. Today I'm going to be looking at my NES, my Super NES, and my Super Famicom games. I'm in a different room today. I'm in my music room / my retro gaming room. My retro gaming stuff is over here behind you, and then drum sets are over here, and guitars over here. And so we're going to jump right into it and get started. First up, do NES games. My only boxed NES game, the original Dragon Quest, or as you see here, Dragon Warrior, as they were originally called in America. A simple RPG, almost an action game with light RPG elements. I've never really played a whole lot of it, but I'm a big fan of the later Dragon Quest games, so I've really wanted to own this one. I got it for, I think, $10 complete in box, so I couldn't pass it up. Set here, we have The Legend of Zelda and Zelda 2: The Adventure of Link. Those are the gold cards, obviously. Everybody knows I'm not a big fan of the 2D Zelda games. I definitely prefer the 3D ones, but these two are classic games on the Nintendo, and it's hard to own a Nintendo without owning these two games. They started one of my favorite series, and definitely need to own both of them. Next is a game I picked up because of the Gaming Historian when he did a video on it a few years ago, and that's Monster Party. It's a really weird game. It has a lot of weird censorship in it that makes things not make any sense. You should check out the Gaming Historian's video on this game for more information. The Tengen Pac-Man. Not much to say. It's unlicensed, but it's Pac-Man. That's really all there is to say about that. Super Mario Bros. 2 in a Nintendo branded case here. It does come with the manual. Of course, here's the cartridge. Not one of my favorite 2D Mario games. Probably my least favorite 2D Mario game. But one thing I thought was cool about this, and it always shows me how people really don't understand how much video games have really lowered in price, even though we're paying $60 for a new game. I have a copy of the receipt right here. I don't know if you can focus on that, but total right here, $87.87 for a brand new copy of Super Mario 2. That's pretty crazy for an NES game. I wouldn't have paid $87 for this game. And then my last NES game, classic Super Mario Bros. 3, which I finally beat for the first time earlier this year, although I beat it on the 3DS Virtual Console. Fantastic game all the way around, one of the best games ever made. Definitely worth owning. So next we'll move on to Super Nintendo games. I just recently got a Super Nintendo again for the first time since I was a kid. Excuse me. And I just bought a few games to go along with it. The original Donkey Kong Country, a fantastic 2D platformer with 3D graphics, and one of the best games on the Super Nintendo. It's probably the best Donkey Kong game. I don't like 2 or 3 as much, but Tropical Freeze and Donkey Kong Country Returns are both really good and worthy successors to this game. I'm thinking I might review this game in the near future. The main jungle level theme and the world map theme get stuck in my head a lot. Next up, F-Zero. I didn't really have a big desire to pick this particular game up when I got my Super Nintendo, but I had some extra credit left over, and it was definitely the cheapest good Super Nintendo game there. I think I paid $6 for it. I love F-Zero X and I love F-Zero GX, the N64 GameCube versions, but I have never really been a big fan of the Super Nintendo one. It used to give me headaches, really bad headaches, because a lot of the backgrounds on the tracks just look like static all over the screen. But thankfully, I picked it back up and I played it, and I was having a blast with this game, and honestly, it didn't bother me as much as it used to when I was younger. The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. This is one game that I can say I've never completed, and I'm probably going to rectify that soon. This is one of the games I would like to beat for the first time in 2015. I know a lot of people really like it, and I know I'm not a big fan of 2D Zeldas like I said earlier, but I definitely need to play this one. The last game here is in this bag because it has the manual. I'm not going to show off the manual, you don't need to see that. Super Mario All-Stars. This is one of the first games I remember playing. I remember I had Mario 2, Mario 3 on the NES, but I remember playing them not very well because I was really young. I had to have been maybe like 2 or 3 before we got the Super Nintendo, and I really remember the 16-bit versions more, and I definitely think they're all in all superior versions of the games. Definitely the best way to own the first 3 Mario games. And I guess lastly I'm going to talk about my small Super Famicom collection. I bought these in one of my old flea market videos. I don't remember exactly which one it was. I bought like 8 of them and I got a really good deal on them. I didn't have a Super Famicom, but when I got the Super Nintendo I took it apart and I broke off the little plastic pins to make my Super Nintendo region free. So I've been playing a little bit of these. I can't read them, but I've figured out how to get around a little bit. The first one here is Itadaki Street 2, which is a board game, kind of Monopoly-like. They released the newest one over here for the Wii, which was just called Fortune Street. And these are board games, so it's a lot of text kind of involved in this one, and I can't really play it that well. Dragon Ball Z Super Butoden and Dragon Ball Z Super Butoden 2. Once I figured out how to navigate the menus, they're both relatively fun fighters. Super Butoden 2 is probably the best one. There's Super Butoden 3, which you could also say could be the best one. I did get Super Butoden 3, but I sold it to a friend along with a couple Sailor Moon games. In my last game here, Super Tetris 2 and Bombless. Never played Bombless before, but Tetris is Tetris. That's all I can really say about it. Now, these are all budding collections, so a lot of games are missing. I definitely plan on picking up more NES, Super Nintendo, and if I can find them, Super Famicom games. But that's it for now, guys. Thank you for watching.